How's it going, garden people? Welcome to the Hidden Gardens. Today we're going to do a walkthrough of the back gardens here in my Zone 7 gardens. Lots of things are shaping up. We've got a golden sentinel apple, columnar, so this one will grow tall and skinny, as well as a patio peach that I plan on putting in a pot in containers for the patio area. Lots of things shaping up for the back gardens, lots of projects to get to, as well as a North Pole columnar apple. So all three of these I'll probably put in containers around the back patio area here. And you can see that there's some apples growing on them, so that's going to be interesting and exciting to see as it goes along. I do have a few other fruit trees as well. Over here there's 3 different kind of pear trees, and they're all dwarf varieties, as well as a Fuji apple and a red delicious apple. So a Bartlett and the other 2 varieties of pears. And I'll probably plant those as opposed to keep these in containers, although I am kind of thinking of espaliering these 2 apple trees. I don't know, we'll kind of have to see. Maybe espalier the pears as well. Still thinking on it, but I at least have the plants to start their growing process and to decide where and how I want to put them. And then moving along over here are the Japanese maples that I have collected. I do plan on planting a few of these in ground. This one is a threadleaf Japanese maple. I've had this one for quite a while. It's been in this pot for a couple of years now. So this one I do plan on planting possibly right behind here, along that back garden corner there. And then a Tamakiyama, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Japanese maple that's also a thread leaf, but it's just a little bit darker than the other one. So both of these are in pots for now, and we'll see, how long it takes me to get them in the ground. I have a Japanese willow as well, which is actually, it's really, really pretty. It definitely needs to get out of its container. It's still in its nursery pot container. So that one gets about 8 feet tall or so. I'll keep it up into tree form. And then right here is a Twombly's Red Sentinel, which is really kind of interesting. It's very narrow shaped. And right here is a Crescent Moon Japanese maple. This one definitely needs to be repotted. It's definitely suffering in its little can here. And then I also have a Waterfall green Japanese maple, and this one's really pretty. It's like the thread leaf, only green, obviously. So I'm still debating on where to kind of put all these Japanese maples, but anybody who gardens and has Japanese maples knows that it can become a very quick addiction of collecting all the things of Japanese maples. So far so good. This one came as marked as a red sentinel, or whatever that tag just said, but I'm pretty sure it's a coral bark Japanese maple, in fact, because it looks a lot like the one that I have out front, so we'll see. And then this one is unknown. I'm not sure of its name, but it's definitely very pretty. It's a fairly fast grower. I got it as a little stick, and it's grown fairly quickly. When it leaves out, it's all orange leafed out. So, and it's also very, very pretty in the fall. All of the Japanese maples fall color is just stunning. Moving along, I have a bunch of raspberries and blackberries planted in pots all along here. This area is also in the process of changing. I'm going to move things around quite a bit, but I do like having the raspberries and the blackberries in pots, mostly because that way they're not running around all over the grass and all over, the garden. It does help keep them contained. And also I kind of like the look, so we'll see, where I'm gonna ultimately put them, but for now they're They're growing along just fine. I did just fertilize everything finally, so things are a little bit on the lighter green side, so hopefully they'll deepen up and darken up within the next week or so. I used all the tones, garden tone and berry tone and all the tones to fertilize the whole garden. Right here is a nice little blueberry that are putting on some blueberries. And over here are a bunch of clematises. This one is the diamond ball clematis. So I have a lot of clematises all planted along this left side of this walkway. Some are new. I transplanted a few in a video a while back. I believe the flowering one right now is one that I transplanted in that video a while back. I did just plant 3 new ones in the middle here, and they're all looking a little rough, so hopefully those will perk up as time goes on. But for now, they're at least planted into the ground. And I also moved in that video a while back another clematis right here that is doing well. And there's another diamond ball on the end there. So once things kind of look better and such, I can go through all the clematis by name, particularly when they're in flower. Maybe I can get a video together about that. But for now, I'm enjoying the whole area over here. The grapes that I have planted in the raised beds, I've trained over here just a little bit. So we'll kind of see how the summer goes and what stays as far as branching is concerned. But as you can see, there's a bunch of grapes that are forming up. So that's pretty exciting. This one is a red grape. I do have in the middle a purple grape, the Concord grape. So 2 different styles of pruning, and I did do a video on that, so you can go back and look to see that a bit more specific. Some nasturtium that I just planted that's already flowering. I've planted up the whole raised bed area. All the strawberries are starting to come about, and like I said, I did just fertilize, so I still need to come in with some straw. I do like the garden straw so that the strawberries aren't laying on just the bare soil. And the garden straw does help as well with moisture retention, as well as cutting down on the weeds. Right here is the yardline viburnum. Those are doing well. I planted those in a video last fall, I believe, as well as all the clematis that are along back here as well. So everything is took in. I'm getting some new growth on the clematises, not the clematis, camellias. All 3 of these are camellias back here, as well as the viburnum. So I've got great growth growing on all of those. So that's pretty exciting because that's a nice evergreen backdrop. The raised beds are pretty much breaking down at this point. They've been in the ground for about 5, almost 6 years or so. So it's about time to start rehashing and rethinking the raised bed garden area. But for this season, we're gonna enjoy what's here and what's growing. So everything's been planted out. I have some garlic growing, a bunch of peppers. The onions have been planted out. I have some marigolds in these containers here, as well as some basil, and then tomatoes in the middle, and some tomatoes dotted around the sides here, along the sides. So things are going and growing. It's just the very beginning of the season for the whole raised bed area. I have right here, these are all the floret celosia and zinnias in these beds. So last year I did that in these beds, and they were spectacular. So pretty, and they got huge too. So pretty exciting to see that occur again. Here's all the dahlias I mentioned in my last video that are all starting to pop up out of their little cans, waiting for me to find where I'm going to put their put the bed that I'm going to put them in. Some blueberries, and all those dahlias are also all Floret variety dahlias, Floret originals. And then got some blueberries, the little raspberries as well. These are the smaller, I want to say, not the baby cakes, but I do have those baby cakes, blackberries, but the strawberry shortcake raspberries. Those are in the containers. Another very pretty clematis right here that's blooming. And have tried to stuff as many clematis as I possibly can along both sides of the raised bed garden, as well as in these two front arbor area. Lots of lettuce growing, the tomatoes. So things are coming along fairly nicely. Again, it's the beginning of the season, so this place will pretty much turn into a major jungle come around this time next month at the very least. So it's a pretty exciting time to see things just starting out, just beginning. All the hard work grown from seed over the winter, and things are just starting to get into their own and will take off shortly. My cucumbers are definitely on the struggle bus, but hopefully those will take and then take off. They always seem to kind of take over this area when I plant them here, so it should be exciting. It's time to harvest some of this lettuce for sure. And the war on the weeds definitely continues. This raised bed area, I usually get to this around this time, and it actually only takes one go through and it's fairly clear for the rest of the season. So weeding in this particular area actually isn't that bad. It usually takes me maybe about an hour to 2 hours to kind of get the whole raised bed area taken care of, including behind it. So as long as I can stay on top of things, then things usually aren't too bad of a tackle, a battle to wage against the weeds there. And then I do have a bunch of blueberries in these back beds as well, mixed in with the grapes and strawberries. And those are producing really well. I may need to net them before the birds get to them, but if I don't get to it, then, at least the birds have some food, I suppose. I am enjoying how things are coming along so far. It does seem like I will have some grapes to pick from this year, as long as I kind of stay up on the watering and probably a little bit more fertilizing throughout the season for all the berries. I use berry tone, and I do put a little bit of soil acidifier as well around the blueberries. So as things go, that's, does work well in my Zone 7 garden for overwintering the blueberries and for them coming back each year. So lots more to get to, but again, with the clematis on this side of the raised bed is starting to bloom. It usually does also bloom a little bit later in the season too, which is really spectacular. All of these clematis are starting to make their way up and getting ready to bloom, so that should be exciting. I also moved this clematis, which I got a few blooms already, and I may get a few more as the season goes. I moved that clematis in the same video a while back as well, so I'm happy that it's made it. It's fine. It's doing really well in this spot since it was moved, so that's pretty exciting. And I also got a few early blooms off of this Shava clematis, I believe it is. And if you don't have a garden stool, a step stool, you may want to consider it, because it's always a helpful thing when you're trying to trellis things or, hang things up high. I've got some carrots that I grew from seed. I started indoors and transplanted into these things. It's the first time kind of actually having that success, as well as some potatoes that I said I wasn't going to grow, but I decided to plant a few potatoes anyways. So we'll see what kind of a harvest I get. I don't usually get a great harvest from potatoes, which is, we'll see what happens, but at least we'll have something. So things are shaping up, things are going along. I still have lots of work to do, but I don't think work ever stops when you're working out in the garden. And this is a star jasmine on both sides of the greenhouse in the back here. These stay in here all year round. I actually thought I lost this plant, so I ended up getting this second plant. Back when I got a winter, it was about -5 it got down to here maybe, and I thought it was lost, but it did actually pull through and come back. So now I have this second star jasmine, and I'm perfectly fine with both of them. The smell from the flowers are absolutely amazing, so I'm definitely down to have those in the greenhouse all year round. They do really well. And actually the star jasmine is a zone 8, so I'm a zone 7B technically, so it's just on that line right there, which is why they stay in the greenhouse all year round. And as you can see, more grapes are being produced, so that's pretty exciting as well. And the Mr. Bowling Ball arborvitaes over here are kind of pulling through. And I did plant a bunch of new clematis around here too, so I've pretty much stuffed it as full as I can possibly stuff with clematises. And my garden gnome is keeping a watchful eye on it all. So things are growing and going. Over to the left here is where I've got pretty much a store of plants that either don't have a place to go. I have mostly evergreens to the side here, a ton of strawberries that I'm still going to plant, probably in the little jaw block containers that you saw back there, the little patio containers I'll probably put on. Pretty little columbine that I still need to find a place for. And as you can see, this azalea is blooming, but it's like the only one that's really blooming really well, so I don't think that the rest of the azaleas over here are getting the right amount of light. So I'm probably going to transplant those. I'm going to redo this whole area here. As you can see, the weeds are definitely winning their battle over here. Hydrangea is starting to come out with some buds, so that's going to be pretty sometime soon here. And I have a whole row of emerald arborvitaes over along this lane, specifically because I do have a house right behind us. That is definitely, when we're in the yard, it's like, hi neighbor. So privacy is an important thing, and these emerald arborvitaes have definitely put on some growth. This year is their leap year, so here's hoping they put on quite a bit of growth. I'm hoping for the best there. They are understory, as in there's a bunch of trees up at the top there, keeping them fairly shaded, which is good for my area, because when they're in like the complete full sun, arborvitaes, I've noticed going around, tend to really kind of burn. So keeping them fairly shaded, partial sun-ish, seems to do them really well. So I'm happy about that. And this is Golden Shadows dogwood. That is really, really pretty. So I'm thinking I might plant that there. This whole area still needs to be reworked. It looks really, really pretty come the very early spring, but coming around this time, it starts to kind of get jam-packed. You can see I've got some powdery mildew going along on some of those lungworts there. And I do have a bunch of plants as well that are in pots that need to find a home and are ready and for me to pick from and choose from to kind of work around this whole back area. I do plan on reworking all of the beds, but the big hydrangeas that are planted are doing well, and I'm going to keep those where they are, including this one. Really spectacular blooms when they come out, so I'm really enjoying this whole back area, even though it needs like all sorts of reworking. That's half the fun too, because I get to redesign this whole back area, and I'm looking forward to that actually for this summer. This past year I've concentrated a lot on the front garden. I'll include that video, the one for May. I'll be doing one for June soon for the garden tour for the front areas, but I've really concentrating on those and have kind of neglected this back area. So even though with all the, with neglecting it, it's still filling in really nicely. Fluffy arborvitae right there behind this hydrangea. All the rhododendrons are, I keep going back and forth about those because they seem like they're doing okay and then they don't seem like they're doing okay. So still a bunch of things to be reworked, which is pretty exciting for me, because that means that I get to, redo some things. So lots of exciting things to look forward to along this whole backside. I think I'll be putting a Bigfoot clear, which is in the pot back there, along this side here. The weeping Alaskan cedar right here is utterly amazing. I love, love, love this tree. I'm so pleased with this tree. Its placing and how it's growing out. I'm so impressed with this tree. So everything's kind of moving along. I'll wage the war against the weeds along these whole back garden beds. I'll probably put a bunch of paper bags down and put some compost garden mix along top of it. Rhododendron that's blooming out, but is, all the rhododendrons, like I said, they're just, I don't know, they're all kind of on the struggle bus, and I'm getting some blooms, not all blooming. I don't know, it's a weird little situation here. I mean, they're understory trees or shrubs, large shrubs, and rhododendrons do well in my area, but maybe it just takes a little time for them to kind of figure out their situation. I have a lot of hydrangeas that I planted a while back. Right there is a autumn Japanese cherry tree that I'll be planting over here soon, that's been in a pot for too long. Another blooming rhododendron that is super pretty, but again, the plant itself is a bit on the struggle bus. So lots of things and lots of exciting things, lots of things to be reworked, but all super joyful to enjoy when they're blooming and to watch grow, and just exciting stuff going on. So again, I'll rework this whole back garden areas. Pretty much the whole back garden's gonna need all sorts of different changing up and reworking. So let me know if you guys are interested in seeing those type of things, the garden transformation type videos. I'll post as much as I can. If you guys are interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments. We have an Angel Falls right there. That's a really skinny but tall tree, so that's going to need some placement. Quason cherry tree right here, that is also going to be planted back here as well. And another struggle bus rhododendron that already bloomed. So it really pretty blooms when they bloom, but again, it's like hit or miss with them. And then over here I have a little grouping of plants, and they're all grouped. Vesuvius flowering plum, as well as the Atlantic, weeping blue Atlantic cedar, dusty Zenobia over there, and some Bigfoot Clearas. But more importantly, these are all in a little circle because they're protecting a bunny bed. I have a ridiculous amount of bunnies over here, and they're multiplying, and there's a nest right in the middle here, so I put all the pots around it because that's what they made the home right next to one of the pots, so I just kind of circled the other pots so that they're kind of protected, because of course the kids are running around, so we don't want them being stepped on, so that kind of helps protect them. I work with the bunnies as much as I can. At least I try not to plant things that they're going to completely decimate, or at least protect things so that they'll get big enough that the rabbits can eat the bottoms of it, but hopefully they'll get big enough that they can't eat the whole plant. So working with things as opposed to trying to get rid of them altogether, because there's just a ridiculous amount of bunnies. And this rhododendron is blooming out really, really pretty right now, and the pollinators definitely enjoy the blooms as well. Super, super pretty. I really, really enjoy it. I just wish I could kind of figure out what's going on with the plants itself. But we'll kind of see how things go and how things develop. But in the meantime, it's definitely a joy to be doing it all and getting out here and changing things up. I definitely enjoy that. It's new opportunities, it's new change, it's new scenery. A bunch of Rosa Sharon right here. That'll bloom out later in the season. They're all in pots for now because I've yet to figure out their permanent placing, but all in due time, I suppose. And in the wintertime, the whole backdrop behind here, all turns, all the leaves fall. So I'm really, really trying to work on an evergreen line of different things to act as screening. These are all North Pole arborvitaes that I've talked about before. I grew all of these from little quart size, so they've grown up and they're in the pots now, but it's definitely, I want to get them into the ground sooner than later, and I may intermix them and mingle them down. And right here I have a pink cascading weeping peach that was more supposed to be ornamental, but I think because I have the other patio peach, it's decided to also give me some peaches. So we'll kind of see how those develop as well. But I do like the dark foliage up against the green of the North Pole arborvitaes. Super, super pretty. So lots to do and lots of exciting things to come. Let me know in the comments what type of things you want to see. But for now, I hope that this video inspires you to get out into your garden and continue along on your gardening journey, whatever that looks like for you. And thank you for coming along on mine.